Hi, I'm Chris Raptus Real Estate. Welcome to episode 53. Last video was a short and it's hump day. Greetings. I'm Chris Raptus, as you well aware know, and not financial advice. Do your own research. And I've got a couple of things to talk about today. One of those is memes and how memes can tie into real estate. And I love the meme. You might have seen the farmer, and it goes along the lines of, it ain't much, but it's an honest day's work, right? And I love that because, I respect farmers a lot. They, wake up every day, they toil the soil, they fertilize, they deal with pesticides, and it's just a really great way of waking up in the morning, right? And having that sort of self-satisfaction when you go to bed. And I certainly like to grow my own veggies in the backyard, and I toil, and I like to do those things in the morning, and then later at night when I look at shutting off for the day. So I guess that ties into business because it's a really good way of just constantly showing up every day and not giving up. And I think that is why I've done so well in real estate. When I say so well, because I measure myself on how happy I am, not so much on the monetary side of things, but how much satisfaction I have when I do a deal. And I'll tell you how this all flows into the narrative, right? So I've got a PhD in real estate, and I'll just let you simmer on that one for a second. Some of you may be saying, hey, Chris, what's a PhD in real estate? I didn't know there was such a thing. Aren't you the most overpaid, underqualified profession in the world? Yeah, maybe so. But I've got a PhD, and that PhD stands for poor, hungry, and determined. And I'm that meme, where there's the dog and then the fire's burning in the background, everything's okay. And that's what comes with 20 years of experience, right? You're paying for a skilled negotiator that has been dealing with multiple scenarios before in the past and has been down this path of, whatever it is that people are selling, right? For whatever reason. Now, I had someone ring me up the other day and say, oh, Chris, have you got any bargains? And I thought to myself, hang on, you don't pay my bills. The vendor pays my bills. And part of the reason that I have been successful in real estate, right, quote unquote, is that I've always been a vendor's agent. Right, I've always worked for the vendor. I've always worked very hard for the vendor, and always in my heart, I believe that I've done the very best for the vendor. So, hate me or love me, that's how it's going to be, right? That's what happens with a lot of CEOs. They're either hated or loved. Look at Donald Trump today at the UN doing his press conference, and he turned around and said, the UN gave me an escalator that didn't work and a microphone that didn't work. So we live in this world where I guess, I know I do, I respect the truth. Some people can't handle the truth, and you break a few eggs, to make an omelet. And I think that you have to be upfront and honest and forward and forthright, and I said that to the buyer the other day. And when you're young in any business, you want to do the right thing, you want to impress people, you don't want to say the wrong thing. And most agents would probably bury themselves and bury their vendors and say, oh, yeah, Joe, they're selling because of this and that. It just baffles me how people are so brainwashed by property managers and real estate agents to make them believe that they're going to do the right thing for them. No, they're waking up in the morning, they're putting on the same shirt, they're driving down the same road, they're going to the same workplace, they're having the same conversations around the water cooler. What do you think they're going to do with their property? With your property, right? They're going to bury you because they're desperate. They probably don't have they don't know when the next check's coming in. Right? So they're going to do everything they can to try and get a deal over the line. Now, I've been in property for 20 years. No bribe, and let me tell you, it's come across my desk many times. If Chris, get me that property. I don't even know these people. And I'll give you some cash, in an envelope to get me that property 20 grand under auction. Hell no! I work for the vendor. You got that 20 grand? I'd rather you bring it to auction and pay. Right? That's just me. Now, that's probably why Maybe I don't have 100 listings and brag about how I'm in Reba's top 100 real estate agents, right? It's all about the satisfaction, right? And I don't go around bragging. And someone said to me the other day, "Oh, Chris, you should tell more people and show more people what you do." Right? Because I am that agent that gets his gardening gear out and helps that 80-year-old client get her garden up spick and span and getting ready for sale. Or we'll shift a bit of furniture and get it into placement. I'll move a pillow or do the stuff that other agents just won't do. They'll just rock up to the property and say, "You get it ready for sale, take some fancy pictures, get it staged, and I'm in and out. Jetting in, jetting out." Well, that's not me, right? It's just not me. Do you think Michelangelo gave up, when he painted the Sistine Chapel? No, he wanted perfection. He's an artist. And I'm not saying I'm an artist. All I'm saying is real estate for me is a craft. I try and put in 110% effort, and it's not corny. It's not kumbaya. It's not, any of that kind of stuff. It's more about just being passionate, waking up in the morning, kicking ass, and trying to leave a legacy behind, right? That's all this is because some people, and my competitive nature, I'll give you an example. I was watching the soccer the other day, football, whatever you want to call it, not Aussie rules. Let's see what happens on grand final, and good on Sturt for winning on the weekend. Lost my train of thought. Yeah, soccer players, they get paid so much money. And that's the thing. Sometimes being overpaid is a bad thing because these soccer players are playing like pansies. Get up, get on with it. You're getting paid way too much money, right? In my opinion. And that's the problem is people can be dangerous when they've been, getting overpaid, let's say. And then you've got on the other side of the spectrum, the ones that are hungry, the ones that will red card, the ones that will yellow card, that'll be aggressive to get ahead. Now, my competitive nature comes from soccer. And, when you're a kid and you play soccer, you do it for the love, right? So you're either doing it for the love or you're doing it for the money. And this is what I'm saying is, if you do something for the love, right? Which I believe there are a lot of real estate agents that do it for the love. They do it because they have their client's best interests at heart. They don't necessarily do it for the money per se, even though the remuneration is good, is very good, yes. But you do have to work for it, and it's not just about easy money, right? In any business, it's about waking up in the morning, kicking ass, getting paid, and having the self-satisfaction. Anyway, let's push all that away. Now, 91% rate drop prediction for October for the Fed. Let's see what happens with the real estate market. Is it going to rally? I believe it will. But again, we did have a 97% rate prediction that the rates were going to drop in 2 months ago, and they didn't. But it is predicted that it's going to drop. I think spring's going to be a great spring. I think properties are going to fly out the door, especially with the new rules that are in play, and thresholds being taken away for first-time buyers for new builds. So that's my prediction. Be happy, be positive. It's hump day. Let's kick some ass. Let's get paid. Look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care. See ya. Bye.